What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay here. It's Monday. We trying to get some cash as well, man. It's been a tough weekend, man. It's been a tough weekend for a lot of people, but if you did make some money, I'm glad that you did. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you're living life to the best of your ability, man. I'm your host, Jay Money, NBA Talk with Jay Show. Monday, we got our guy Rob here, man. We cash on Mondays. What's up with you, Rob? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Everything is good, John. Right there with you, boy. Saturday was an absolute dynamite day. Little 8-0 on Saturday, and then come back and give some back yesterday. But as I was saying to you off air, real quick here, we love the guy who invented in-game betting because last night I was heavy on Memphis, and you see
Mm-hmm.
the way they came out half asleep. But you just watch, all of a sudden you can take double digits with Memphis, and then you watch the start of the third and see maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
coming and you can back yourself out of some bad spots. So, yeah, we'll look to get into some really good spots here today, Jay, on the show. Last Monday was a really nice day on this show.
Yeah, let's get every Monday is a really nice day with you on the show, Rob. So let's get straight to it here, man. Some great games on the card, man. Got top looks. Let's talk some basketball here, Rob. Let's go. Let's get straight to it. First game up. We went to the streets of Orlando here. We have the Magic getting 7.5 points at the house versus the Boston Celtics. A little double revenge spot here, right, Rob? Now you could say that the Magic match up really well with the Celtics. They don't have Brogdon in this game. They don't have Marcus Smart, and Robert Williams just hyperextended his knee. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did sit him. They have a game tomorrow versus Miami Heat as well. But I guess the main thing here is do the Magic really match up well with the Celtics, or do the Celtics want to get some double revenge from losing as double-digit favorites earlier this year in back-to-back games as well? Rob, how you looking at this one?
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Jay. And I thought it through too. Do they want revenge against the Magic, right? They probably wanted revenge against Golden State way more than the Magic. But let's look at those two games real quick here that they played back to back. It was in mid-December, 95-92 Orlando, 117-109 in Orlando. Both in Boston was the surprise, right? That Boston couldn't come back. Tatum didn't play in the
Mm-hmm.
second game. But if you go back a little to late October, the Celtics won down here in Orlando, 126-120. In that game, it's very similar to what we're looking at tonight, right? Because there's a potential we don't have Robert Williams. You just mentioned it. So in that game where they won 126-120, they didn't have Williams or Horford.
Mm-hmm.
The two main guys in that game, which could be the way tonight, were Derek White, 27, Jason Tatum, 40. Jaylen
Dang.
Brown kicked in some. I'm going to say this real quick, Jay. I'm a little bit surprised that the number went up from 7.5 to 8, considering the fact that Boston is without two point guards, and point guard will be manned by Derek White and Peyton Pritchard tonight. But while the line went up, the total went down. And I guess I think differently because I think that without Smart, without Brogdon, without Williams, this is not a good defensive team that Boston puts on the floor, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Orlando's not a good defensive team to begin with. Boston can score with anybody. I kind of look toward maybe taking advantage of the total in this spot. I mean, they, like I say, they did get to 246 the first time when Williams didn't play and Derek White had to become a bigger part from the guard spot. So I don't know. That's the way I'm looking, Jay. I don't know too much about the side here, but I think I would look at over the total.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Yeah, last night this line was at 232. It's come down to 230, 229 and a half. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough game for me, guys. I'll be honest. Would I be surprised if the Celtics took this game serious with them having double revenge versus the Magic? I could see it, but with them having Miami on deck tomorrow, and the Magic just match up well with them with their bigs, right? Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter Jr. Who else they got? They got Ben Caro as well, man. So Franz Wagner, man, they got bigs for days, man. I've been saying it for the last couple of years that at least for last year, that the Magic can be the newer Cavs team, and they actually have more bigs as well, man. Defend the paint. You just got to get some better. You got to get some better guards out there, man. But super tough game for me. Would I be surprised if the Magic covered? I wouldn't. Would I be surprised if the Celtics put the pedal to the metal and at least tried to come and lock up for this one game? I wouldn't be surprised either, guys. So I'm sorry, this is a stay off game. It's really conflicting angles for me on both sides. Double revenge for the Celtics as double digit faves. They do have a look ahead tomorrow to Miami. In theory, a much more important game. Magic, they can play some good ball, man. So tough game for me. My guy Rob looking towards the over in this one. I could definitely see points in this one, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Detroit here. Guys, we have the Detroit Pistons getting 11 points at the house versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, as we know right now, Giannis is playing. I've seen them say that he's probable for at least a couple games on the 5-game skid that he was out or whatever. A couple of those games they say he was probable and ended up playing. So you never know what's going to happen. Chris Middleton's supposed to play as well today, Rob. My interesting thing here is the total. I did a show last night. This line was at 231. It shot all the way up to 237 in here, Rob. It makes sense to me. I know me personally, I'm looking at Bucks team totals over in this one. That's what I was telling the people, the members last night. Bucks team total overs in this one. I see the Pistons defense has already been horrible. Now you're coming back off a little mini vacation as well off the Paris game. Now you've got look what you have here, Rob, facing the Bucks offense here, who are looking to bounce back and to bust out offensively here. I can only look at Bucks team total overs, first quarter, first half, full game. What do you think about the over in this game, Rob?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more where that's concerned, Jay. And real quick, let me just back up to your point about Orlando having bigs and maybe being the new Cleveland. We need to also know that Jonathan Isaac, one of their prize young bigs, is coming back tonight. Jonathan Isaac hasn't played in so long. You almost forget he's part of that team. So even more bigs for the Orlando Magic. In this game, Jay, to your point about Detroit's defense, I got a couple of numbers here. Second to last in the NBA in defensive efficiency, second to last in field goal percentage allowed. This Bucks 0-5 stretch, or the 2-3 stretch, straight up, all without Giannis. It just makes such a big difference. Now, these teams have played, Milwaukee dominates the series, right? They played twice. They did a back-to-back just like Boston and Orlando did. Mm-hmm. In those two, they were both at Milwaukee. Bucks win by 25, Bucks win by 2. I think a key loss here for Detroit is Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart, the starting center for the Pistons, 21 rebounds in those 2 games. But when you start looking at the size advantage for the Bucks in this game, it's pretty significant. Brock Lopez, Giannis, and Bobby Portis basically against Jalen Duren. The Detroit team has no size. It's part of the reason why they're not that good defensively. Aside from the fact that they're young and they're not really cohesive yet. Killian Hayes may be out here. We don't know. There's kind of a question mark there. But even if he plays, I think Milwaukee, I think the reason for Giannis looking to go here is to get this team back on track. It's a team that they dominate. I think there's fundamental advantages. Point spread's huge. But where you were going with just sheer points on the Milwaukee side, I could totally see it. You know, the Pistons allow them like crazy, and they allow teams to shoot against them. One more thing real quick. Since Giannis has been out those 5 games, 3 times, the Bucks have allowed the opponent to shoot 52% or better. That ain't happening with Giannis on the floor. Right. So I would look the direction you're looking at points here, and I might even look Milwaukee. Maybe they come out of the shoot real quick here, first quarter, first half.
Exactly. Yeah, my guy in the chat saying it could be. We do know that sometimes when star players come back in, it can slow things down. But like I say, sometimes you kind of have to look on the other side. If they're playing a great defensive team, that's one thing. But you're going out there playing the Pistons. The Pistons are a get right team, guys. You got to notice some of these get right teams where it doesn't really matter what's going on the other side. They could be struggling. This is the game where they could look like champions once again here. So I could only look towards Bucks here. Spread wise, I could only look towards Bucks. But one thing my guy Ronald's teaching me as well, that sometimes you're just going in with those team totals. You don't even care about what the spread is. You don't care if they cover or not. You just need points to be scored. And I definitely think the Bucks could score some points. So like I said, I don't play any totals. My top plays in this game would be Bucks first quarter team total over, first half team total over, and full game team total over. You don't even care about them covering the spread. You just need them, the Pistons, to give up points. And we know that that's going to happen as well. So if Beef Stew is out, they do have Nerlens Noel and Jalen Duren, but still, Giannis, I don't see Giannis is not really a shooter. So if a shooter comes back, that's when you're kind of worried about their rhythm. When you're driving to the paint every single time and playing defense, that's not really something you get rusty at. Chris Middleton could be rusty. He's a shooter. He's relying on his shot. But Giannis, the way he plays basketball, it's really hard to be a rusty Giannis when you're just driving to the paint out there. So personally, I can only look towards Bucks team totals overs in this one. Looks like the total did shoot up 6 points overnight. So some people are looking at the same thing that I'm looking at. Pistons, I see them giving up maybe 125 points here, guys. I can only look towards the Bucks in this one. Let's head over here to the streets of Houston here, Rob. We got the Rockets getting 5.5 points at the house versus the Wolves. A little home and home game, right, where they just played in Minnesota. Rockets had a 10-point lead and they come all the way back. What are we doing? Talk about the Rockets here, Rob. You like anything in this game?
I'm going to back up again because every time you make a point, it reminds me of something. You were talking about Giannis not being a shooter. Middleton is. Maybe he gets rusty. But the first two times these two played, there was no Pat Connaughton. There was no Joe Ingles. And so those are two shooters that have played quite a bit now. Maybe helps Milwaukee against this team even more. What are we doing talking about the Rockets, right? Steven Silas was talking about the Rockets, and he said they miss too many free throws. They don't play enough defense. Minnesota came from behind and got that win the other night. Two teams going opposite directions here this month, Jay. We talked a little bit about the T-Wolves last week, but in the month of January, they're 7-2-1 against the spread, while the other side is 1-8-1 against the spread. I think the Rockets are on a 9-game losing streak or something, maybe worse than 9. Before this month, I think it's 9. Back-to-back situation. I don't know. I feel the same way about Minnesota as I felt before with their enthusiasm that we talked about last week. They just seem to be Anthony Edwards again. Every night he's on the injured list. Not today, but up until today, just about every day he's on the injured list, and every day he comes out and leads a team in scoring and leads that crew. I would have to say Minnesota's the only way I could look. I will say I didn't play this game because I just don't know how serious they'll take it after being able to dig themselves a huge hole and come back. They probably look at Houston and say we can handle them rather easily. If nothing else, Houston tries quite a bit, but they turn it over and they don't shoot free throws. And it's a scary combo against Minnesota because they can turn you over. And that's how they get those quick spurts and points. Even without Rudy Gobert, they were able to manage the center position the other night. Knight came in and scored like 17 points in the second half. So the only way I could look is Minnesota, but I didn't play the game.
Yeah, I'm off Rockets games for the rest of the season, guys. It's either you fade them or you stay off. They have games where they come up double digit, and Rockets are a really good live bet team as well, guys. They get a lead and you get plus money on the other side. Take it, man. The Rockets do not want to win games. I think I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know. What are we doing here? They've lost 10 straight games. It's probably even more than that, but I know it's at least 10. They're not competitive in games. They did have a 10-point lead versus the Timberwolves last game. Guess what? It evaporated in seconds. And then the Timberwolves going to actually cover the spread. So, just picture being a Rockets backer. You getting 8 or 9 points in that one, and they're up 10 basically the whole game. And then you look in the fourth quarter, and now they're down double digits. So, it's a tough game for me, man, but I can only look towards the Wolves. Every Rockets game is tough. You can only look towards the Wolves or stay off the game, guys. So that's just the way that I look at it. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. This line did come down from 6.5 to 5.5 as well. Could be some injury concerns with Gobert, all this good stuff, man. Just don't look towards the Rockets, guys. Just save yourself the madness, guys. But let's head over here to the game of the day here, Rob. We got the Chicago Bulls here, Atlanta point at the house versus the Atlanta Hawks in this one. Total sitting at 239 in this one, Rob. How you looking at this game, my brother?
I'm going to go all player prop on you in this game, okay, Jay. And the player here is Nikola Vucevic. Billy Donovan came out a few games ago and told us all that from now on, Chicago is running their offense through Vucevic, kind of the way that Denver runs it through Jokic. Right now, Vucevic won't bring the ball up the floor, but Billy Donovan wants a paint touch into Vucevic every single time because he's basically 3 threats from that position, right? He can score in there. Donovan praises his passing ability, which is the comparison to Jokic. Nobody's Jokic passing the basketball from the center position, but Vucevic is more than capable. And then he hits the boards for the second chance points here. So just looking at his PRA tonight, Jay, it's listed at 32.5. The game they just played in Paris against Detroit, and this will be their first game back from Paris, as it will for the Pistons tonight. His total was 33.5. Went over. I'm going to list you Nikola Vucevic's 9 games this month as far as PRA are concerned. 37, 60, 34, 130, 35, 35, 35, 37, 35. 8 of 9 times this month he's going over 32.5. And it correlates to Billy Donovan just trying to rework this offense. I think Chicago, everything I read, is one of these teams that before the trade deadline likely makes a move. Or excuse me, Chicago, not Detroit. Chicago likely makes a move is everything we read. But until that happens, the head coach has told us the plan on offense. And if you want to back that Vucevic prop up, not just look at his numbers, But look at what Atlanta allows to opposing centers. Atlanta's the worst team in the NBA defending centers. They give up 20.5 points a game. Atlanta's the second worst team with rebounding against opposing centers. They give up 12.6 rebounds. Right there, 20.5 and 12.6 is over the 32.5 for today. They're 26th in allowing assists to centers. They don't play centers well. Give me Vucevic over 32.5 here.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off props in this one, man. I like the Hawks in this one, guys. I like the Hawks. I know the Bulls are rested in theory, but do you want rest or do you want rust? This team is just coming off a vacation, in my opinion, over there in Paris, where the Bulls are basically, ever since Jordan played in Paris back in the day, man, the Bulls are like the Paris. They love them over there. They love the Bulls. It was like a home game. I don't like the spot for the Bulls here. Like I said, I know in theory they have the rest, but first off, what I want to do, I want to fade them first quarter. I do think that there will be somewhat a little bit of adjustment back to their arena, just the NBA game period, time zone, all that good stuff. They've had 3 days off, but I'm taking Hawks in the first quarter. Plus, I'm not sure what the line is right now. I took it last night. I took first quarter money line. Let's see, first quarter money line plus 100, but let's see what we got. Plus a half. I'll take Hawks first quarter plus a half here. I want to take them full game, guys. I mean, I want to take them trifecta spot. Only thing I hadn't taken is first half right now. I think I'm going to get there. I think this is a Hawks trifecta spot. I think they get it started early and often. And the Bulls have a game tomorrow as well. So I'll tell you simply put, I'm taking the Hawks today. If the Bulls do take my money, I'll fade them tomorrow versus the Pacers. It's not a good spot as well coming off of back-to-back. So in my opinion, I think this is going to be the down game versus the Bulls, and then they'll turn up tomorrow versus the Pacers. But I know that this is a big rivalry, whatever, Hawks versus Bulls. It's 1-1 so far this season, with the Hawks going 0-2 ATS in this one. So you got revenge ATS, and you got revenge the last time they faced off. They lost on the last bucket, a last-minute bucket as well. They lost 110-108. And the Hawks basically just got shafted by the refs in the last game with their foul on Terry Rozier. They came out and said that wasn't a foul as well, mess up the Hawks win streak in that one. I think the Hawks are more they're more cohesive right now with them actually playing. It sounds crazy, but the rest advantage shit really hadn't been hidden lately, man. It's actually like you want to go with the team that's been playing more basketball. They seem more in form, man. So give me the Hawks here in the first quarter. I want to take them first half as well. I hadn't taken it, but Hawks first quarter plus a half, Hawks full game plus the 1 for me. If you don't like it, you don't have to play it, my guy. Rob, what do you think about that? Obviously, I feel like the Bulls are coming in off a little mini vacation here. What do you think about the side in this game?
Yeah, I like the Hawks, Jay, and I would say this, that it seems to me that the Hawks have flipped a switch recently. Again, I think we talked about them last week, but I got, their shooting percentage from the field over the course of their last 5 games, 51.2, 59.2, 57, 58, and 54.2%. 5 games in a row shooting better than 51% from the field. I mean, they've come to play. I talked last week about how they found a little bit of help for Capella at the center position. They're undersized there, which is why they give up so much. But as far as offensive production is concerned, they get a little more with Okongwu as well. But Trae Young has taken over, and DeJounte Murray has taken over. And those forwards on this team, because of Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, that forward tandem is solid, Jay, and they get a little bit overlooked. So I would look only towards Atlanta here. Like I said, I think Chicago's in a little bit of a, we're going to shake some things up here before the deadline.
That's a good point, and I don't think that's gonna translate to a win here. Give me the Hawks in this one. They have revenge as well. This is their first time playing in Chicago this year, but I like the situation, guys. I do like the situation in this one. My guy in the chat says, question: when you take trifecta spots, how many units you play on each bet? It'd be 3 units only. It would always be 1 unit a piece, guys. Unless I say something otherwise, I always suggest 1 unit spread, same money on every single bet, my guys. But hadn't taken Hawks first half, I do think I may get there, but I tell you right now, Hawks first quarter plus a half, Hawks full game plus the 1 official to me. Well, we're gonna leave the first half as a lean, but I fully believe Hawks gonna cash the trifecta spot in this one, guys. Those are the 2 bets that I've taken so far today. Let's head over here to the streets of Utah. We have the Jazz laying 8 points at the house versus those Hornets. I'm not sure if LaMelo Ball is back here. I don't care, man. I don't want the Hornets off of a win. I know they've won 2 straight here. I know I'm not laying these points with the Jazz as well. Easy stay off game for me here, Rob. Do we look at the over in this one?
I did, Jay. I did. And as high as Charlotte scored, these odds makers are pricing me out now. And I'm too scared to bet under, right, in these games. But Charlotte 7 of 10 games this month, they've all been extremely high scoring. You know how many got over 240? 3 out of 10. And they get to 238, 238, 237, 235. Those are all high scoring games. But the odds makers have just upped the ante here to where you got to either close your eyes and just play over or get off. I mean, I don't have enough confidence that these two teams can play it under to bet it. Can they play one? I just listed you off 6 Charlotte games this month that have stayed under this number. So sure they can. But the makeup of these two teams, the opportunity to score that you'll have with these two teams up and down the floor, too much for me to play under. I think the odds maker at this point in time, a lot of these totals have started to price me out. I don't think there's any advantage to playing over, even though it could get over.
Yeah, it's a good point there. Obviously, I mean, it's an over nothing league these days, guys. I can tell you that, man. So it's not, and that's another reason why I don't play totals. Generally, I like unders, guys. So whether I have a look on a total or not, you guys know I don't bet any totals, man. I don't have luck with betting totals. I bet overs. The motherfuckers can't hit anything. I bet under, and then they go out there and hit a 70. I'm talking about a 70, 80 point quarter combined, man. So some people bet totals, and like my guy Rob and cash with them at a high rate. But I know me personally, I just don't bet totals, man. They don't mean that I can't give you good looks on the game, but yeah, nothing for me. I'd look at some totals, whichever team you like. I'd look at team total overs in this one, guys. But no totals for. I don't know when the last time I bet a total, and I may not bet a total for the rest of my life. That don't mean I can't give you good looks on them, but personally, I'm not betting them. I tell you what I have my money on, my guys. I always keep it real with you. Let's go over here to the next game, man. Let's go to the streets of Sacramento here. Intriguing game, right, Rob? I wanted the Grizzlies to complete the comeback last night. We will definitely be fading them tonight. I still think there's substance to taking the Kings here, but on the other end, the Grizzlies have beaten them 9 out of 10 times. I believe 81 straight up the last 9. Regards to that, man, they've owned the Kings. And when you really think about it, just basketball-wise, it's a bad matchup. Ja Morant getting into the paint, Steven Adams down low as well, and Jaren Jackson Jr. So, in my opinion, for me to take the Kings here, I need maybe 2 of those 3 to be out in this one. You got the Grizzlies coming off 2 straight losses as well after like 11-game win streak. They do have Golden State on deck, though, so there's a lot of conflicting things here, guys. I'll tell you, when it's a lot of shit going on like this, I don't bet the game. I can see anything happen here, Rob. How you looking at this one?
You know, I tried to look at Memphis first quarter, first half, Jay, thinking it's been a tough – this will be 3rd and 4 days, right? And last night was tough because they used a lot of energy to come back in that game. Almost got there, 112-110 final. So my thought process was maybe they, you know, off of a slow start yesterday, they decide to turn that around. They don't want to get off to a slow start here and come out quick. They're a real good first quarter ATS team. They're a real good first half ATS team. So if whatever energy they do have, I think I would lean toward Memphis first quarter, first half. I don't want to see them in the second half because Sacramento proved the other night against OKC they're more than capable in the second half. They've got a lot of scoring ability. And right now, Keegan Murray has joined in the last couple of games, playing really well. So I don't think I want any part of them full game. But I do think you can make a little cash here with Memphis first quarter, first half. They absolutely hurt me yesterday because I thought they would, again, here's how different things are, Jay, right? We just talked about when star players come back, they can clog things up. Chris Paul comes back yesterday and clogs nothing up. He was fantastic against that team. So the NBA's just been a little bit topsy-turvy as far as results go this year. You can't make rhyme or reason out of it, but I think I can make rhyme or reason out of this. I do think Memphis at the real cheap price, half a point first half, just win the game, or first quarter, just win the game. I think I could get there, and I could even say I like first half with Memphis.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off there. So the Kings have beaten them one time this year. But like I say, what I'm saying is historically, Grizzlies not 8-1 straight up last 9 versus the Kings. They've absolutely owned them, man. But I don't like the spot for them. But like if everybody does plays, I wouldn't be surprised if Grizzlies got there early. Simple because Ja Morant and Fox always go back and forth to each other, but Adams down low, in my opinion, like what Sabonis likes to do, he likes to get in the paint, be shifty, and he likes to get on the offensive and defensive boards. Adams and Triple J could really own him, in my opinion. So this is a back-to-back for the Grizzlies. Got to check the injury report. I always say that because when they're back-to-back, they don't even have to submit their injury report until I believe like 6 o'clock Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. So watch the injury report, but it's a tough game for. I couldn't talk you out of Grizzlies early there, Rob. And when you look at it this way, when you come out so poor the day before, you want that get back immediately. You want to come back out and play a lot better. You don't want to get down behind in the game. So I could actually see scenarios where Grizzlies come out high, and if the Kings were to have an advantage, it would be in the second half, with especially the way they run and gun as well. Grizzlies fatigue, possible sit in. That's a good look there, Rob. If you like the Grizzlies, go ahead and take them first quarter or first half. Could not talk you off in that one, my guys. The total shot up as well, man, to 246, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh boy, I ain't a fan of this type of basketball, man. I like to see some defense, man. But last game, let's go to the streets of Portland here. Got the Blazers laying, so it was 9 last night. Sorry, guys. It's down to what, 8.5? Yeah, so it's down to 8.5. Still a 9 out there. So if you like the Spurs, there are few 9s out there as well. One is Circa as well. So I'm saying none of these books. Hey, I ain't sponsored by none of these books, so I'm gonna stop mentioning them. But Rob, here, how you looking at this game, man? Dame he looked pissed last. I'm not laying 9 with the Blazers. Now the Spurs are ass, but I'm not laying 9 with the Blazers. I can't do it. I will not do it. If I like Blazers, same thing, Rob. Take them early with them they started out horrible yesterday, and they got a good lead in the second half, blew that one. Only way I could look if I'm taking Blazers is first quarter, but full game, I can only look towards Spurs here, Rob. We're looking at some totals in this one.
Yeah, it is hard off of the lead that they blew last night, Jay. 25-point lead at home, blow to the Lakers. I mean, it's hard to tell where their mindset would be here. But I do think that, the point that we used with Memphis, you want very quick turnaround redemption. Portland may want it in front of the home fans. If there's one game where the total is priced high that I'm willing to bet over, it's this one, because San Antonio just doesn't defend, right? 4 of the last 5 San Antonio games have hit 257, 251, 257, 264. So the odds maker currently hasn't gone up high enough to keep me from betting the Spurs over. They allowed 63% field goals to the Clippers in their last game. And somehow the Clippers didn't cover that game. Don't get me going there, because I was so angry. Those last 2 3-pointers that San Antonio threw in that were meaningless. Unbelievable. But I think I could play over here. I really do. I think you get over 240.5. Portland may be a little bit weary-legged on the defensive side. Maybe not. Nobody cares all that much in the NBA about when the Spurs walk in. Why waste my energy on defense when I can get my numbers on offense against these guys? I think that's what, and Portland has a zillion offensive options. So I'll try over 240.5, Jay.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off, man. I feel like if you like the Blazers, maybe just take them team total overs in this one. They should go off offensively. In this one, they're looking for a bounce back spot as well. They were going up against a defensive team last night. The Spurs are not dead. One prop that I'd look towards on the Spurs side would be Zach Collins over there, man. If I'm not mistaken, he was drafted by the Blazers. He played, not sure how many years he played, but I would definitely look towards his points. He got 17 points in the last game as well. I'm not sure who that is calling me, man, but you better leave a message. But I can only look to I'll be looking at maybe some Collins. I'm trying to see how many games he played, how many years he played for. So he played his first 4 years in the league for Portland. He was drafted by them as well. I'd look for that. That's what I look for, props, guys. Like I say, I'm not betting this, guys, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good look. But I'm just saying this is what I think, that Zach Collins, there's some substance to him going off tonight. He's going to have some, obviously some extra motivation going to Portland up there, and not a ton of Bs. The Blazers aren't playing a ton of defense right now as well. So this is probably going to be a run and gun type of game. Blazers team totals are probably going to get there. That's just how I look at the game. But one thing for the Spurs, I think that has some substance that should cash is Zach Collins. I don't even know the spread, but I know it's not over 10 points as well, guys. So somebody in the chat, man, said what they have that prop bet for Zach Collins. I probably should be maybe somewhere 7.5, 8.5, man. But that's the way I look at it, my guys. Somebody in the chat saying Anthony Simons, sophomore, he's going through that. He's going through this slump. He's not a sophomore though. He's been in the league for a while, man. He's been in the league for a while. But regards to that, Rob, let's get out of here, man. It's $9 Monday over at Wage Talk, as it is every Monday. You see what I'm saying? Just go ahead over there at Wage Talk, put your email in. You'll get email notifications, free shows, all that good stuff, man. It's like I say, $9 Monday. It's never really you don't need a promo code for that. So it's like that every single day, every Monday over at Wage Talk. Rob, what do you have going at Wage Talk, and let the people know anything you like for tonight's card?
Yeah, we got NBA and college basketball action up over there, Jay, and I'm about an inch from submitting an NFL play for next Sunday, but
okay.
I'd like to do a little bit of more research before I let my eyes get carried away with what we saw last. But I'm pretty close on one. So you can just hop over to wagertalk.com, as Jay said, pick up NBA selections, pick up college basketball selections, just $9 every Monday, wagertalk.com. For our show here, Jay, official, because we have to be official when we release these here. I'm going to go back to what I said about Memphis. I think Memphis first quarter is the right side here. They're already 0-2 on this road trip. Their first half was, to put it mildly, ass last night against Phoenix. I don't think that happens again here. Generally, the head coach will point that out to the team. Listen, we can't get off the starts like that. And I think Memphis, the type of team that probably takes it serious. Their depth is really good as well. I know they burnt a lot of energy last night. That's why you play them early, I think, because they're so hyped prior to the game. Maybe the legs go dead second half. Give me Memphis first quarter -0.5.
Man, you know what? Let's catch some first quarter picks then, bro. Because Hawks first quarter +0.5, my top play of the day. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to cash it. I like the Hawks in the full game as well, but I like the spot. Fading the Bulls, coming off that Paris trip, coming off a little vacation. Zach LaVine talking about he drank plenty of wine, my guy. So it could be some, it could not. I mean, I always tell people, man, nothing's guaranteed, guys. I'm simply taking what I do my research, and I take what I have a strongly feel on. I like the spot for it. Hawks first quarter +0.5, top play today. I'm also on Hawks +1. I fully believe they win this game. I think they go 2-1 in this series versus the Bulls. I don't like the spot for the Bulls here. Coming vacation J here, guys. So they are rested, but you could argue that they're rusty as well with the way that LaVine and Rosen like to shoot the ball a ton. Those are the type of players that you worry about coming back off a few days of rest. Trae Young and Murray should be in their rhythm here. They're pissed off coming off a game as well where they never should have lost versus the Hornets, and that one little fishy call at the end or whatever. Regards to that, I think the Hawks are pissed off here. Give me the Hawks here. First quarter +0.5, Hawks full game +1. Heavily lean to the Hawks first half as well, guys. The way I see the game, I see the Hawks come out here early and often, and I think it could be a lackluster start from the Bulls. I don't think they recover from it. Maybe the next game or something for the Bulls, but I don't see it happening today. Give me Hawks first quarter, first half. Heavily leans would be Bucks, and the Bucks trifecta on the team total. That's the only way I could look in that game. I'd stay away from the spread. Bucks first quarter team total, first half team total, first full game team total. I didn't bet it, but that doesn't mean that I don't think it's not going to win, guys. And that's it for me, man. That's it for me, guys. Only a couple plays for me today. We're trying to catch a couple first quarters here, man. My guy Rob as well, man. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button if you really do like the show. Subscribe to the channel as well. Hit the notifications bell. That way you never miss a show, and become a member of the channel as well, man. It's only $3.99 a month, guys, not $400. $3.99, guys. So if there was I think some people thought I was talking about $400. There's $3.99 if you would like to become a member of the show. Let's get some cash, guys. We out. Let's get some cash. We will win.